Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So welcome to the Bhagavad Gita Introduction Thematic course and the philosophical terms and concepts study. So yesterday we saw Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan's uh, introduction essay on only the five topics. Quite elaborately, Prabhupada discusses these five topics, but yesterday we saw the five subjects. Baldev Vidyabhushan gives very brief explanation in his introduction essay to the Bhagavad Gita. And as I mentioned, these are the five topics which Prabhupada, in his Gita commentary introduction, expands quite in detail. And the only thing what we saw is the concept of Vishesh, which Prabhupada doesn't touch at all in his introduction. He picks this concept of Vishesh from the Madhvacharya's philosophy. Qualities from the person can be not separable. At the same time, it's a distinctive feature of the personality. So we saw the concept of Vishesh and more pramanas about how the Lord is conscious and you know he's aware about himself from the Shruti Pramans we saw. So that's how Baldev Vidyabhushan gives uh, his commentary to the uh, sorry, his commentary to the Bhagavad Gita. And then we started with the process of understanding Bhagavad Gita. The five subjects are there and the process, Abhidheya, you know. So Vedic knowledge, what is the process of accepting the Vedic knowledge? We have to accept it as it is without any contradiction. Cowdung example. In this context, we saw Pratyaksha, Anuman and Shabda. And Shabda is our Praman, but we use a Pratyaksha and Anuman also. We use them as much as they help us to understand Shabda. If they are disagreeing, then we rely on Shabda, but we don't put our faith in Anuman. If the Anuman is saying what is Shabda saying, then we use those evidence. Like Prabhupada uses scientific evidence of Cowden's antiseptic qualities. Although it has nothing to do with the Shabda Praman, but you can use that Praman to prove that what the Vedas is saying is also told by the modern scientist. Because people have more faith in the words of the Lord than the words of the scientist. So we can use them, and that is an art, and one has to learn how to do that. So that yesterday we saw. And then Prabhupada mentions that, perfect knowledge comes from the perfect person, which is he's infallible and he is free from imperfections. These are the four imperfections. We saw that Brahma, Pramada, Vipralipsa, Karna, Patava, and how these are progressively increasing. We saw from a different order. So first we saw Karna, Patava, and then we do Pramad mistake because of illusion, and then Vipralipsa cheating. So the order is changed here. We saw that. Now we'll come to, Sambandh has been established in one sense in 13 to 26th. Abhidheya has been mentioned. How? Then the result. What is the prayojan? And again, we'll come back to the process given in Bhagavad Gita for attaining the abode of the Lord. But let's go to the result of understanding Bhagavad Gita. Okay, any questions you have up till now, what we have discussed, or from yesterday's questions? Yes, Bir Krish Puji. have to unmute you. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu. Prabhu, this we understand the sabda is ultimate pramana, and pratyaksha and one whatever is there, this we can either verify or not verify. So,
Uh-huh.
Prabhu, uh, what if what if pratyaksha is not able to verify the sabda? How do we see? How do we perceive the sabda in that case? How do we take it sabda? Sabda as a
No, no, no. Can you give me some example what you're trying to say? I just lost, in
uh,
fact, what you're trying.
it's like Prabhu ki, for example, let's see, mm, like suppose sabda is making some statement which is not verifiable by pratyaksha.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we see that sabda? That's my basic question.
Yeah. Basically, I was trying to, that's what make this point that there are things, there are concepts which are spoken in words, but there are objects.
Like for example, in cosmology, we see a lot of
Yeah, that is what, no, no, I'm coming to that same point. I'm coming to that same point. Yeah, there are things which are concepts which are spoken in words, but there are no objects which is perceivable by through pratyaksha. Then we have to fully rely on Shabda until firstly faith is an important factor that what is given in the Shabda, I have faith in it. Shraddha Shabda Vishwas. Secondly, the realization and the vision. Krishna can bless you with the vision by which you can realize the text. That is what is Shravanam Mananam Nididhyasan. Because, if it is not verifiable through our perceivable senses, then it doesn't mean, array, uh, I will not believe in Shabda. No, I have full statement, but it is incomprehensible at this point for me. But I have full faith in it. So that should be our attitude. Especially, with respect to cosmology, it becomes very, very difficult. Now, what to speak of cosmology? Many things, like, we are now studying the eighth chapter, the concept of Brahman, you know, Aksharam Param, Brahma Paramam, Swabhava Adhyatma Uchate, Adi Daiva. It's a conception of, there is no, the Lord with the, his sum total as all the devatas. There is no form like that, but it is a conception. So when we cannot see, and of course, Lord can show that kind of a form as he showed to Arjuna in the Vishwarupa, but not to ordinary vision. It's not possible. So then we have to have that faith uh, in the Shabda alone then. But there are certain things which are perceivable in the Pratyaksha. Like I'm giving you one example from the Bhagavatam, Tadvag Visargo Janakad Viplavo Yasmin Prati Shloka Abhadravat Api Nama, what? Uh, Tadvag Visargo Janakad Viplavo यस्मिन् प्रतिश्लोक भद्रवत्तपि नामानि अनन्तस्य यशो अंकितानि शृण्वन्ति गायन्ति गृह्णन्ति साधव but before that न यद्वचश्चित्र हरेर्यश यशम हर न यद्वतश्चित्रपदं हरेर्यशो पवित् जगत् पवित्रं प्रणगृहीत कर्हिचित् तद्वायसं तीर्थमुशन्ति मानसा न यत्र हंसा निर्मत उशिक्षया. So it is mentioned Vayasam Tirtha. The literatures which are dealing with sense gratification are called as the pilgrimage of crows. This is what the Bhagavatam, the Shabda Praman is saying. But you might Pratyaksha see that, there is some refuse, dirty thing, and crows actually go there. And you have seen that. Oh, what you read in the Shabda? Krishna is giving me the realization in Pratyaksha, you know. So I'm able to see. Then, oh, yes, the Shastra says this, and now I'm seeing it also. So that also, when your some things which are perceivable pratyaksha, what is given in the Shabda, will enhance your faith in Shabda. Remember that. Will enhance your
Right,
faith in
right.
Shabda. So ultimately, it is Shabda which is central, and the others are peripheral, and sometimes we can use them, not use them, in order to strengthen our faith in Shabda. So that's the point. Is it clear, Prabhu? What you're
Yes,
trying
bro.
to?
Thank you, bro. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay, so now we'll go to the next theme, which is also, like this was 13 to 26, 14 paragraphs. Oh, this is quite also big, 17 paragraphs, the result of understanding. This is 11 paragraphs. So this is the second, this is the first biggest, I can say, This is the second biggest, 13 5 subjects. Of course, in this, if you see, not all paragraphs were there. There were some Balde Vidyabhushans also. But here there is nothing much, concepts here in this. But let's go through it. And if there are some concepts, we will definitely discuss. There are many examples given on how we are to utilize those things which are set aside for us by the Lord. So now, Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, and how Vedic knowledge is infallible and perfect. So now the practical application, the Abhideya, Prabhupada is starting with that discussion now. So he speaks about utilizing things which are set aside by Lord. He's speaking about what here actually? From what is this reference? Anyone can give a reference to this statement of Prabhupada? Anyone can give a scriptural quotation for this statement of Prabhupada. There are many examples given on how we are to utilize those things which are set aside for us by the Lord. Yes, Chakrama Prabhuji.
Ishavasana principle.
Yes, excellent. Very good. Yeah, it is Ish Upanishads Mantra 1. So basically now Prabhupada is now, he is speaking about, utilizing. So this is the attitudes which we can have to this world. I did not put the slide, but I'm just writing it. Attitude towards world, you know. So one can be, the enjoying, this world is meant for enjoyment, and this is the karmis. They see this world as meant for enjoying, and the Lord is supplier for our enjoyment. And the jnani is, entanglement. They say this world is illusion, will get entangled. And they what? Demonize the world. Okay, karmis, we have to tell what is their conception. I'll increase. These are the karmis. Demonize. These are the jnanis. And utility, or what Prabhupada uses the term here? Utilize. Yeah. So utilize only it is. Utilize. Utility, it's utilize. The devotees utilize the things in this world. So these are, engagement here it is. Sorry. Okay, I'll just rub this. The attitude is this material world is meant for engagement. The karmi is enjoying, they equalize. The attitude of the Yanis is entanglement, they demonize. And the devotees' engagement, they utilize. These are the bhaktas. So, this is the devotional perspective. We have to see that based on what Sambandha Gyan, we come to this conclusion that this material world is to be utilized in the Lord's service, and it is devotees' concept is engagement. By from which, where did you get this understanding? Where have you come across now in our whole discussion? Who will answer this? How did we come to this point of that we need to, utilize this world in Krishna service? Where Prabhupada has spoken about it and what concept we have discussed up till now in the Bhagavad Gita about this? Who will answer? Veer Krish Prabhuji.
Uh, Prabhu, as we see that, uh, relation between Jagat and Jagdishwar, and of course Jiva.
Uh-huh.
So,
Okay, what
uh,
is this Jagat? Prakriti?
Jagat is basically Prakriti. So, everything belongs to, it's a Shakti of Lord only.
It has to engage in the Shaktiman. Very good. So this is what is
That
the concept?
concept is कि we should understand the relation between
It
Lord
comes
and
in the Panchanga Nyaya, Sambandha Videya Prayojan.
yes.
And Prabhupada has spoken about it in the five subjects of the Gita that, all these, Baldev Vidya speaks, na? Ishvara, uh, Jiva, Prakriti, Kal and Karma are the energies of Ishwar, he says. Right? Yeah.
Mm.
Good. Very good. So these are the attitudes we can have towards the world. This is also explained, this is also explained in the Bhagavad Gita. That what? That we have to use what is set aside by. This also explained. In the beginning, Arjuna decided that he should not fight in the battle of Kurukshetra. This was his own decision. So Prabhupada is speaking how in the Bhagavad Gita, the entire Bhagavad Gita is in fact, in one sense, the Ishvavasya principle. Arjuna decided not to fight. But Arjuna's quota was as a part and parcel to fight according to the Lord's will, because that was the Lord's will. Can you understand this? How beautiful Prabhupada bringing this example. Arjun told the lad it was not possible for him to enjoy the kingdom after killing his own kinsman. So he thought, this is set aside for me, but I cannot enjoy this by killing my own kinsman. This decision was based on the body because he was thinking of the body was himself and that his bodily relationships or expansions were his brothers, nephews, brother-in-laws, grandpa, and so on. Therefore, he wanted to satisfy his bodily demands. Bhagavad Gita was spoken by the Lord just to change this view. And at the end, Arjuna decides to fight under the direction of the Lord when he says, Karishye Vachanam Tava, I shall act according to your word. And whatever is your word, I will do. But now Krishna says, my word is that, you fight on behalf of me. This is what is called as the Jaiva Dharma, the Dharma of the soul. You know. Interestingly, please remember that, Arjuna says, Karishya Vachanam Tava. He doesn't say, I will fight. Because he says that I will do your desire. And that is Ishavasya principle. Okay. Prabhupada. Next paragraph. In this world, men are not meant for quarreling like cats and dogs. Men must be intelligent to realize the importance of human life and refuse to act like ordinary animals. A human being should realize the aim of his life, and this direction is given in all Vedic literature, and the essence is given in Bhagavad Gita, and the essence is given. Oh, I don't know why this has come twice, Let me see in the original book. And the essence is given in the Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, I don't know why it has come twice. Vedic literature is meant for human beings and not for animals. Purpose is very heavy. Animals can kill other living beings, and there is no question of sin on their part. But if a man kills an animal for the satisfaction of his uncontrolled taste, he is violating the Ishavasya principle. He must be responsible for breaking the law of nature. In Bhagavad Gita, it is clearly mentioned that there are three kinds of activities according to the different modes of nature: the activities in goodness, passion, and ignorance. Similarly, there are three kinds of eatables also: eatables in goodness, passion, and ignorance. All of this is clearly described, and if we properly utilize the instructions of Bhagavad Gita, then our whole life will become purified, and ultimately we will be able to reach the destination which is beyond this material sky. Yad gatva na nivartante tad dhama paramam mama. So, what is the result of understanding of what is given in the Bhagavad Gita? That we will reach the spiritual abode, which is beyond the material sky. You know, the destination is called as, you know, Sanatan sky. Proper says Sanatan sky. you know, the eternal spiritual sky. There is a spiritual sky. In this material world, we find everything is temporary. Now, Prabhupada goes into, making the goal, the spiritual world. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. There's the material world, which is a dark place, Asata, temporary, and there is a spiritual world which is full of light. Asatoma Satgamayo, Tamasoma Jyotirgamayo. And then Prabhupada later on called Mrityumam Amritagamaya. It comes into being, stays for some time, produces some byproducts, dwindles, and then vanishes. So, Prabhupada speaks about the nature of temporary things. And he's speaking about especially living beings. Living beings means soul plus matter. That is the law of material world, whether we use an example of this body or a piece of fruit or anything. Now, in the piece of fruit, it goes through, in one sense, it goes through also, like one fruit doesn't give a byproduct of another fruit. You have to understand that. But it goes through transformation of creation, maintenance, destruction. It dwindles also, but generally, it's a tree which grow, where the soul is there and it grows, gives byproducts, other fruits, and they become seeds, and then it dwindles and then dies because there is a soul. So Shad Vikar transformations are happening only to living beings. Matter goes through three vikar, I say. I don't know whether this term is there. Three vikar because it goes through creation, maintenance, and destruction, or the material world matter. But beyond this temporary world, there is another world which we have information. That world consists of another nature which is called Sanatan or eternal. Jiva is also described Sanatan, eternal, and the Lord is also described as Sanatan in the 11th chapter. Now, in the 11th chapter, anyone knows where, the Jiva is described as Sanatan and Lord is also described as Sanatan? Anyone knows? You can raise your hands. Anyone knows in the 11th chapter where it is mentioned that the Jiva is Sanatan? And the Lord is also Sanatan. Anyone? Or you're all searching now? Prabhupada's introduction essay, we should study it, and mark all the references. Yes, Bir Krish Prabhuji.
Prabhu, there is one verse where Arjuna is saying, Tamaksharam paramam vedi tabyam tamasya viswasya param nidhanam. Tamabhya saswatam dharma gopta sanatanastvam puruso mato me.
No, make Sanatanastvam. Yes, exactly. That is the 18th verse in the 11th chapter. So please mark this. But where is the Jiva also mentioned as Sanatan in the 11th chapter? I feel that it is only the Lord which is mentioned as Sanatan in the 11th chapter. BG 11.18. But in the 11th chapter, I don't know whether the Jiva has been described as Sanatan, but in other places it has been described. You know, the Jiva has been described. In fact, in 2.12 only the Sanatan thing is being described. And then there is Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. Many references can come, many can come. But in the 11th chapter, which Prabhupada is speaking, I'll have to still once again go through and see if there is any other verse which explains the Jiva as Sanatan in the 11th chapter. Okay. We have an intimate relationship with the Lord, and because we are all qualitatively one, the Sanatan Dham, sky, the Sanatan Supreme Sword, and the Sanatan living entities. So we are Sanatan, the Lord is Sanatan, so there is a eternal relationship. The whole purpose of Bhagavad Gita is to revive our Sanatan occupation, Sanatan Dharma, which is the eternal occupation of the living entity. Very, very profound statement here. Prabhupada is mentioning that we have to revive our Sanatan Dharma, that is service to the Supreme Lord. Now, this is called as the eternal occupation of the living entity, Nitya Dharma. And this is how Bhaktivinoda Thakur also coins this term, Nitya Dharma, in the Jaiva Dharma. We have temporarily engaged in different activities, but all of these activities can be purified when we give up all these temporary activities and take up activities which are prescribed by the Supreme Lord. That is called our pure life. Now here Prabhupada is giving the definition of, in one sense, pure devotional service. And this dharma of engaging in different activities based on the nature of the body, naimittika dharma it is. This has nothing to do with naimittik karma, where there is nitya karma, naimittik karma, and what is one more called kamya karma. So that is within the varnashram. But any dharma which is executed uh, on the bodily platform of an identity not as kainkarya, as a servant of the Lord, on the level of the soul, not on the level of the soul, Jaiva Dharma, then it becomes Naimitic Dharma. And when our this is get purified, and we give up all these temporary activities, Sarvapadi Vinirmuktam Tat Paratvena Nirmalam, Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam. When the Rishika only do the seva of Rishikesha, Rishikena Isha, you know, if the how do you know now whether we are performing devotional service based on this definition of Narad Muni's, in the Narad Pancharatra, or where it is? I think it is Narad Pancharatra only. How do you know that? Whether we are following the Sarvopadi Vinirmaktam Tat Paratvena Nirmalam. How do you know that? Who will answer? Subha Ikshan Krishnaji. How do you know? Are you there?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. There was some issue in my mobile. I could not join from the pad.
Okay.
Prabhu, when we are not in the bodily concept of life,
Can you give something
Sarvapati,
practical, based on Rishika Sarvapadi Vinirmuktvan Tat Paratvena Nirmalam? Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchate. Based on this third line, how can we know whether we are actually engaged in uh, devotional service or Nitya Dharma or Naimitik Dharma? Some practical, very practical hint you can give us.
Practical hint in terms of Prabhu, like if we are practicing devotional service and someone comes and tell us something and we do not get offended or uh, affected so much that we stop service or get so depressed or
Oh,
something, but we keep doing, keeping the higher purpose that we are the servant of Lord and we are here to please the Lord, not to please ourselves.
oh, okay, that is a little different as to what
Mhm.
we are speaking from this verse. Bir Prabhu, you have something to say?
Prabhu, for example, when we are engaging our senses exclusively for Lord's pleasure, for example, if you are using our voice, then it is for kirtan or katha or like that, and uh,
Yeah,
uh,
now, yeah, you come to the point. Now I'll ask you, if the senses, are engaged as per their swabhava, that the senses flow towards the sense objects, even while
hmm.
practicing bhakti,
And then also, Prabhu,
then
if it
is
is
it
flow,
still pure devotional service?
uh, Prabhu, if it is Krishna centric, then we can say even if it is going towards sense object, but if Krishna is in center, then I think it can fall.
How is that? Can you tell me?
Uh,
Because tatparatvena nirmalam, that the
uh,
senses only go towards service of
uh,
Rishikesha and
but
not to
Prabhu,
sense objects, not to sense
but
objects.
in this case, Prabhu, object has to be Krishna only. Actually, even
Yeah, that is
senses are
what.
going towards sense
If the
object.
senses are still attracted to this world, and
Then
there is
no, then
attraction to,
definitely no.
huh, it's very clear. Tat paratvena nirmalam.
No, no.
So we engage the senses in Krishna service. At the same time, we are engaged our swabhav in this world also. We have inclination to act as per our sabhava. Then it is not on the platform of Kainkarya, right?
Yes, yes,
Ah.
yes, yes.
And by engaging like that, when the senses get purified, the purified senses, what? Now it is, what is that verse? Tavat karmani kurvita na nirvidyeti avata. You become disgusted. And now I say, I don't want to engage in any other activities of this world. I just want to engage only for the pleasure of the Lord. Then your pure devotional service begins. So very, very clear,
Yes,
Prabhupada in his definition is making. This is called our pure life. The
yes, yes.
Supreme Lord, the Supreme Lord and his transcendental abode are both Sanatan. His abode is also Sanatan, the Lord is also, as are the living entities, and the combined association of the Supreme Lord and the living entities in the Sanatan abode is the perfection of human life. So this is the goal of human life. We are not ambitious. We are super ambitious. What anyone cannot think about, you know, we are planning that. That is our goal of life. Yes, Bir Pushpuji.
Prabhu, this term naimittic dharma is same as swadharma.
No. No, in one sense. Why? No, Naimittic Dharma can refer to any identity other than the soul identity. And those who fall within the Varnashram and follow the Varnashram Dharma and practice Karma Yoga, they will fall under Karma Yoga. Then Varnashram, Nitya Dharma, Naimittic Dharma, sorry, Nitya Karma, Naimittic Karma, and Kama Karma will come into picture. But somebody who's out of Varnashram, he's also following some kind of Naimittic Dharma, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you getting this point?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
Yeah. The Lord is very kind to the living entities because they are his sons. Lord Krishna declares in the Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Yonishi Aham Bija Pradapita. I am the father of all. So the Lord is very kind. We have to accept this statement of Prabhupada. And Prabhupada is quoting Aham Bija Pradapita. Krishna is telling, I am your father. Come, my son, come back to me. He's calling us out of affection. Of course, there are all types of living entities according to their ways, but here the Lord claims that He is the father of all of them. There are all yonis, but He is claiming, I am the father. Therefore, the Lord descends to reclaim all the fallen souls, conditioned souls, to call them back to the Sanatan, eternal sky, so that the Sanatan living entities may regain their eternal Sanatan positions as in eternal association with the Lord. That is, you situate in your Sarupa, Jivera Sarupa Krishna. The Lord comes himself in different incarnations, or he sends his confidential servants as his sons or his associates or acharyas to reclaim the conditioned souls. So either the Lord comes himself, one, or sends his Vishnupad, Prabhupada, his sons. Prabhupada claimed even Jesus is the son of God, and father can have many sons in this world, so why can't God have many sons, His associates, parshads, or acharyas. Prabhupada is one such acharya, and is also a confidential servant of the Lord. Therefore, Sanatan Dharma does not refer to any sectarian process of religion. It is the eternal function of the eternal entities in relationship with the eternal Supreme Lord. Again, Prabhupada gives the definition of, Nitya Dharma, which is called as the Jaiva Dharma. Jaiva Dharma. Sanatan Dharma refers, as stated previously, to the eternal occupation of the living entity. So the temporary occupations based on Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, or I am a businessman, I am a Hindu, I am a Muslim, or I am a Christian, and doing those occupations, I am a father, I am a mother, I am a CEO, all these occupations, these are not Jaiva Dharma, these are all Naimitic Dharmas. And based on Varnashram, then, that is Nitya karma, Naimitic karma, Kame karma, that is within Varnashram. So that is all these are Naimitic karmas. Sripad Ramacharya has explained the word Sanatan as that which has neither beginning nor end. So when we speak of Sanatan, we must take it for granted on the authority of Srimad Ramacharya that it has neither beginning nor end. That which is eternal has no beginning or no end, just like the soul has no beginning nor end. The English word religion is a little different from the Sanatan Dharma. Religion conveys the idea of faith, and faith may change. So Prabhupada now deals, because in the English language he's speaking Dharma, there is no English equivalent, and Dharma comes from Dhru Dhatu, Dharana, that which holds or sustains. So Prabhupada gives the example, dharma of, dharma cannot change. The dharma of chili is it is pungent. The dharma of liquidity, water is liquidity. You can make it solid and keep it, but moment you allow it, it will go to its natural state. So the dharma of the soul is to serve the Supreme Soul. So that's what one may have faith in a particular process, and he may change his faith and adopt another, but Sanatan Dharma refers to activity which cannot be changed. So this cannot change. The dharma of chili cannot be changed. It is constitutionally like that built. So the dharma of the soul is to serve the Supreme Soul. For instance, liquidity cannot be taken from water, nor heat can be taken from fire. Similarly, the eternal function of the eternal living entity cannot be taken from the eternal entity. Sanatana Dharma is eternally integral with the living entity. Very beautiful statement. Sanatana Dharma is integral, eternal integral with the living entity. It is integral to it. by constitution. That's what I had also made the statement. Prabhupada is using the word integral. When we speak of Sanatan, therefore, we must take it for granted on the authority of Srimad Ramacharya that it has neither beginning nor end. That which has neither beginning nor end must not be sectarian, for it cannot be limited by any boundaries. So then Prabhupada is proving that Sanatan Dharma is not sectarian. Those belonging to some sectarian faith will longly consider the Sanatan Dharma is also sectarian. But if we go deeply into the matter and consider it in the light of modern science, it is possible for us to see that Sanatana Dharma is the business of all people of the world, nay, of all living entities of the universe. Non-Sanatan religious faiths may have some beginning in the annals of human history, but there is no beginning to the history of Sanatana Dharma because it remains eternal with the living entities. Insofar as the living entity is concerned, the authorities Shastra state that the living being is neither born, has neither birth nor death. In the Gita, it is stated that living entity is never born and he never dies. He is eternal and indestructible and continues to live after the destruction of his temporary material body. So, because of this nature of the soul, there is the nature of this dharma, which is Sanatan Dharma. Now, I quoted this verse from Baldev Vidyabhushan's Gita commentary. Na jayate mriyate va kadachan, nayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuya. Ajo nitya shashvatoyam purano na hanyate hanyamane sharire. The soul is never born, na jayate, nor does it ever die, na mriyate va kadachan. Neither was it born in the past, na ayam bhutva, nor will it be born in the future, na va bhuya bhavita. It has no growth, no decay, no transformation. Aja nitya. It is most ancient, shashvata, but not subject to aging, purana. Thus, it is not killed, na hanyate, when the body is killed. Sharira hanyamane. So, it has, aja nitya has been translated as no growth, no decay, transformation. Shashvata as most ancient, and Purana as not being subject to aging. So, this is based on the Shad Vikars, and let's go into Baldev Bhushan's commentary. This verse confirms the eternal nature of Atma, previously mentioned, by showing that it is devoid of the six changes mentioned by Yask. Yask is a dictionary writer, just like you have, Williams, Moner Williams dictionary, or Collins dictionary. What are all these Collins dictionary? Collins is the author of the dictionary. So similarly, the Nirukti dictionaries are composed by great Sanskrit authors. Yaska is one, and then there is the famous, I'm not able to recollect the name, uh, Amarkosha. Amarkosha is also by some like that. So he says, Jayate asti vardate viparanamate apakshiyate vinashyate yati. So Jayate means birth. Asti means existence. Vardate means increase. Viparanamate means transformation. And apakshiyate means decay. And vinashyati means dying. So these are the three Nirukti dictionary. So there is a six head vikars it goes through. The word va here means and the words na jayate mriyate, the Atma is not born nor it dies at any time. Creation and destruction are both included. So neither the Atma is born nor it dies. And just as in the past the Jiva was never born, in the future it will never be born again. This indicates that the Jiva will never take another birth a, and a different existence. Indicated by the word asti in Yaksha statement. So, asti means existence. So, that's how, asti has been proved now. One should also not think that this Atma will ever increase or become more. This is indicated by the word Vardhatain Yaska's verse from its present state, na bhuya. So Vardhate means, the just like the body, increases in size, the soul will, increase in size? No, it remains the same. So asti and vardate are, now, ruled out for the jiva. Asti and vardate. Jayate and vinashati is taken care by, na jayate mriyate verse. Then the reason why it will not become greater is then stated by the words aja nitya. So why it is not? Because it is aja and nitya. Things subject to both birth and death, such as trees, also grow after birth and then die. The jiva, having neither birth or death, aja nitya, also does not have growth, na bhuya. Shashvata means that the jiva does not decay. It exists at all times without decay. Decay is represented by ap- apakshiyate, apakshiyate in Yashka's verse. So because by Shashvata is represented by, you know, this. Now only last one. The word Purana indicates that the soul is without change or transformation. V Parana Mate. Though the Atma is Pura, ancient, it is Nama, new. It never has to take another new form. Although it is, old, but it is always new. Same it is. It doesn't change. So there is no transformation. Thus the Atma is devoid of the six changes, is called Nitya. Ajo, Nitya, Shashvato, Ayam, Purano. Since Atma is of this nature, when the body is killed, Atma is not killed. Na hanyate hanyamare sharir. Arjuna uttered words such as, I will be the killer of my guru out of ignorance, with a fear of being dishonored. But because of the aborigines, you should fearlessly fight this righteous war approved by scriptures. So that's how I've just quoted this because of Prabhupada mentioning about uh, Bhagavad Gita 2.20, how it is eternal, indestructible, and all these verses further also in the Gita it is mentioned. So these Shadvikars, Baldev Bhushan's whole purport is, Yaska's Shadvikar. He analyzes the entire verse based on this Shadvikar. Okay, we come back now to the Bhagavad Gita paragraph discussion. In reference to the concept of Sanatana Dharma, we must try to understand the concept of religion from the Sanskrit root meaning of the word. Dharma refers to that which is constantly existing with a particular object. Dhri Dhatu is mentioned, which holds or sustains. We conclude that there is heat and light along with fire. Without heat and light, there is no meaning to the word fire. Similarly, we discover the essential part of the living being, that part which is his constant companion. The constant companion is his eternal quality, and that eternal quality is his eternal religion. Now, what is that eternal quality of the jiva? He will come to that little ahead, and we started at 6:15 and we have 7 more minutes. But any questions you have up till now? Any questions, any clarifications? Yes, Bir Krish Prabhuji.
Prabhu, this Sanatan Dharma, which is to serve the Lord, uh, it is the eternal function of all living entities. But
Yes,
it is feasible to practice exclusively in human body.
yes,
Uh,
it is only possible in the human form of life.
so, Prabhu, what is scope for other species who are in other bodies? What is their evolution process?
The only scope they have is that they can hear from the devotees the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, by which they attain Sukruti. And by that Sukruti, although they have to go through transmigration to many species to come to the human form of life, but they might transgress all that. They might bypass all that, you can say. And next life, they might get a human form. And by that human form, they'll have to practice. Dharma is only, can be practiced only in the human form of life. And that too when one is awake, not while sleeping. Okay.
My point was from the point of view that when it is eternal, I mean, Sanatan Dharma is the eternal function of all living entity. Why?
Yeah, but basically you have to understand that that eternal function remains. Just like, water, the dharma of water is talta, but artificially you put it under refrigerated condition, then it becomes ice. Now it doesn't exhibit its dharma. But just because it is not exhibiting its dharma, it doesn't mean that, it's exhibiting some other dharma. It doesn't mean that, it has lost its eternal dharma. Its eternal dharma still remains intact. Given the
Yes.
opportunity, it will manifest that dharma.
Right.
Okay, it is covered now. So how much ever deep the covering might be, but it will always be there deep inside. Okay.
And that also will get uncovered only when one gets association of devotee. It's only
Human form of life, association of devotees.
human.
And that's why Krishna speaks about the different avarans, na?
Mm.
Dhume rata, what that was.
Dhumina Abrit.
Dhumena avrita vaner, yata darsho malena cha, yata avrita garbhas, tena avritam idam sata. So, the lust which is like covered like smoke, that is compared to the human form life where there is chance to revive the fire. But, the lust which is in the form of, um on the mirror, there is dirt. That is, that's compared to the animal species. And the Garbha, it is still lower. So there
Yes.
is no chance in one sense. Yeah, this verse 3.38. Dhumena avrita vahanir yata darsho malena cha yathol bena avrito garbha tatha tenidam avritam. So there are degrees of covering. Fire and smoke is the human form of life. Mirror covered by dust is, the other species, animals and all. These are like trees. So these two have no chance. It's only in the human form of life. Of course, all the three can be also compared to the human form of life. You know, you can take the sattva, rajas, and tamas like that.
Yes.
But generally, Prabhupada gives like that understanding. Mirror covered is beast and birds, he says, and smoke covered by fire is human being. In the human form, the consciousness can be revived. You know. And Prabhupada says, the embryo covered is analytically helpless position of the child in the womb is so helpless it cannot even move. This stage of the life is compared to trees, you know, and they have got this because of great exhibition of lust, and they are almost devoid of consciousness. There is no chance for all these lower things. So only in the human form of life, and as the Haridas Thakur says to Mahaprabhu, by the Ucha Sankirtan, all these species also get Sukriti, and in the next birth, they can get the human form and practice and attain perfection. Okay, is that okay, Prabhuji?
Yes, bro. Yes, bro. Thank you.
Any other questions anyone else has? Okay, so I'll just take one more paragraph now. We have finished this. Jayate Jayate. Yeah, Prabhupada is speaking about that, the eternal companion, the eternal quality. What is the eternal quality? That is of service. So that Prabhupada now brings up from the Sanatana Shiksha. So I think this is within this paragraph, this beginning of this eternal service from the Sanatana Shiksha. I think I'll continue that in the next class because, we want to complete the discussion of that. We just don't want to leave it halfway. So we will stop here and continue our discussion. But anyway, any other further questions you have up till now, what we have discussed? Okay, so then we will stop here. Thank you very much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Anant Koti Vaishnav Vrind ki jai. Hare Krishna.